Hello, welcome to episode 62 of Let's Run Facebook Ads, a podcast with myself, Nick Boddington. Today we are going to talk about Facebook forms and landing pages and which one is best to use. Now, I don't know if I've done one of these before in the past, but it's all changing and I'll explain why in this episode. But before we do, if you're struggling with your landing pages, you're struggling with your Facebook ads, you're just generally struggling and you can't figure it out, then you need to come on to the Ads Clinic. The Ads Clinic is where I will spend 30 minutes with you free of charge for the first call. We'll have a look at your ads, we'll see what's going on, and we'll try and help. I'll try and help as much as I can. Thereafter, if you still want help, then you can come on for a paid weekly or bi-weekly call with me, where we can go over your ads, build it up, and get you the results that you deserve. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 62. Facebook forms against landing pages. What should we use? Now, I'm going to go back to before iOS 14. I'm going to explain very quickly what I would do, and then I'm going to come straight back to February 2022 and explain what I do now, or what's in my head anyway, or basically what's really doing my head in. So, a Facebook form has been around for a while. Now, what a Facebook form does, it allows you to build an ad in called lead generation. And you, instead of sending someone to a landing page, a form will open in Facebook. Now, this is fantastic for small business owners, people who don't have websites, PTs, chiropractors, all this sort of stuff where you're trying to get people interested in your product or service, and you don't know how to link a landing page up, you haven't got the money for a landing page, you don't know how to build a landing page, all that sort of stuff is just a little bit way above where you are right now, and you need something quick and simple. Facebook developed this for that particular reason. Now, you can choose the same ad, you build the ad in the same way, but when you choose the lead objective or lead generation objective, it means that at the end afterwards, rather than putting a URL of where you're going to send someone on an ad, like a website or a landing page, you choose the form. And you build a form in Facebook as well. And that form will be a very, very simple, get as much traffic as possible or get higher quality traffic. The difference between the two is the get as much traffic as possible will just be literally naming a telephone number, auto-filled. The high quality need one will be you can ask for some more fields, plus you can ask some questions, plus Facebook, before it submits the leads, asks the person, the consumer, to check over that and make sure all the information they've put in is correct before pressing submit. Just those little barriers to entry for the higher quality ones means that there's more intent from the consumer by having to spend more time doing it opposed to just pressing click. So, and I've seen this many, many times when we've been doing stuff for PTs and things like that, is that when you make it really easy to get high quality leads, yes, at first your customer's going, I've got loads, or you're going, yeah, I've got loads of leads, but the quality is not as good. You're honestly, the stories I've heard where people actually call up the lead that's just come through, like immediately, it's popped up on the phone, they press dial, telephone number, and that person goes, I didn't know, I haven't done that. It's like, yeah, but your name is Jessica, yeah, and this is your telephone number, yeah, I only have that because you've pressed it. So most of the time they don't even, Facebook has made it so easy with autofill that they don't even know that they've pressed it. So the higher quality one, which means you can ask some questions and they have to go over it again before pressing submit, means you're going higher intent. Now, the landing page, you'll notice that we talked about that on episode 61, the last episode, is that used to be the better way because you were guaranteed to get higher quality leads coming through because they click the button on the ad, as in book me now or find out more, or whatever you might have. They go through to a landing page. Then they have to actually fill in a form. There might be some auto-fill on there, depending on their cookies on their laptop or the website or their phone, but they have to press submit. So there's more, again, intent from the consumer to go over it and press the submit button. Okay, that's what was happening before iOS. Now, since iOS, things have obviously got a lot harder with tracking. And where my frustration comes in and why I wanted to create this podcast now is because we want to keep someone now in the platform. And I'll give you an example of people leaving the platform. I do a lot of, as you can imagine, a lot of lead generation campaigns and a lot of e-commerce, and it's a problem for both of them. Obviously, this is about web forms, so let's stick on to lead generation. Facebook forms, so let's stick on lead generation. I've got clients where Facebook is spending, let's say it's 100 quid a day, okay? And Facebook has got them 7 leads a day. Yeah, simple to follow. Let's make it even easier. 5 leads a day. It's costing them £20 to get a lead. And the client's happy. The client said to us, hey, if you can get leads for under 100 quid, I'm going actually, this is factual of a particular client. The client said to us, if you can get leads for under 100 quid, even if it was 98 quid, we're happy. We'd want to carry on giving you more money to expand the spend on Facebook and get more leads. Happy days. We're getting leads for £20, £25, I think at the most about £40. Happy days. Now, the problem is that after a week, when I've sent over 25 leads to the client and they've had a report, we've got them on the call and we're saying, hey, you got 25 leads. The client's going, we haven't had 25 leads. So we've had like 5. And we're going, but Facebook's telling us you've had 20 leads, 25 leads. The client's saying, no, we've literally only had 5. So we've gone away, we've looked at it, we've tried to figure out what's going on. And this, by the way, this is one client. This has been going on for ages with lots of different clients. But we go through the same sort of systems of just trying to figure out what's going on. We even create our own landing pages with the client where the URL is completely unique to us. It has LRS as our name in there, or Facebook. It's completely unique. So anyone who fills in that landing page and goes to the thank you page can only have got there if they've come across our Facebook ad. Okay. We've done that and it's still saying there aren't as many leads as what's coming through. Now, what's happening in the Facebook marketplace is not marketplaces where you buy stuff as in like the Facebook world, is that Facebook, because these tracking problems they're having, have had to go down the line of basically doing estimated modeling. Basically, they're estimating the brain, the computer brain is going, okay, it's taking all the information in and it's estimating how many leads you can get. Now, if you're not switched onto your business and and I don't mean that just disrespectfully to anyone who's listening who does have a business and is using lead generation and is very good at it. But what I mean is if you're taking, let's say, 200 leads in a month to your sales team and you've got Google Ads, you've got a bit of Twitter, you've got a bit of YouTube, you've got a bit of Facebook, LinkedIn, and it's all coming in and no one's moaning because the sales team have got loads of calls, they've got loads of leads coming in, and you're not paying so much attention. And trust me, it's no disrespect, but I know a lot of businesses who don't look at it this far, is that you don't know what's working or what's not working. Okay, so for instance, this particular client that I'm talking about, we've found out by using their Google Analytics that they're paying up to like £390 for a an AdWords lead. So anything they're doing on Google is coming through at about £360. Now we're already, even on a bad day, we're still lower than that at about £200 lead. Remember, they're trying to get sub 100. So Facebook is making up the figures. Let's not use the word like modeling. It's essentially making up the figures. It's saying, we think that you're going to get 5 leads today. Okay. When I go into the client system or I go into Google Analytics, because we use UTMs without going technical, we've put bits of code onto our ads so that in Google, we can actually see what's actually come through. Google is agreeing with the client and going, no, you didn't have 5 today. You only had 2. So our cost per lead's going up. So how do we get around this? Well, the only way to get around this really is to keep people in the platforms. So we have to look at Facebook forms. Now, we do have some clients where we use Facebook forms. So us now as an agency, where we can use a Facebook form, we will. And we've just got we've got better at using the information that we're able to put into the Facebook form for a call to action, for a hook, a lot better, so that we can get better quality leads coming through. And we've got one client who's flying at the moment. They're getting loads of leads coming through and they're really, really good, legitimate people. They're getting appointments set and sales made. Absolutely brilliant. That's the only way at the moment that we are seeing success. When the lead is going out of Facebook and onto a landing page, it's not to say we're not getting the leads, but for the amount of leads that Facebook is saying to what is actually happening, do not stack up. So, as you know, on this podcast, if you've been listening since the beginning or a lot of episodes, you'll know that it's all about testing. I go on about testing your audiences, testing your creative, testing. The problem lies here now that let's say we're testing 5 audiences in Facebook, and those 5 audiences have created 10 leads a day. Yeah. We're going to be making our decisions on going, bloody hell, right? Those audience A and audience B have created 16 of those, let's say 20, have created 16 of those 20 leads. Okay. We need to turn off audience C and D. But when we go into Google, and I'm using those UTM links, it's saying that it didn't have 16 out of 20. It had 5 out of 20. 2 of them have come from audience A, and the other 3 have come from audience C. So suddenly, by switching off audience C, according to Facebook, I'd be closing off one that's getting the leads. Do you see whether the issues are here? As soon as it leaves Facebook, we're having problems. If we can keep it in Facebook, it is absolutely legitimate that those are leads. They've been created by a certain audience or creative, and we can turn off the ones that don't work. So we can carry on with the testing. And that's what we're doing now. So in conclusion, because I could go absolutely massively technical, and I'm going to lose you all probably, but if we keep this to a conclusion, still track and still, if you want to, use landing pages, but split test it. Have one ad doing Facebook forms and one ad doing landing pages. But if Facebook is saying that you've had 5 leads from the landing page, go on to wherever you're sending the leads through, if it's yourself or your sales team, and ask them how many leads they got. What you really need to do more than that is go onto the software or your website or Google Analytics. If you're using something like Lead Pages or ClickFunnels, you'll be able to see how many leads you actually legitimately got to that landing page. So if Facebook is saying you got 10 in a day and you only got 3, you only got 3. Okay. It's made it a lot harder for us as advertisers. Whoopee, guys, you think you're on a winning streak, and then suddenly something else throws itself at you. But hey, we're entrepreneurs, we're business people, we're marketers. These are the challenges we have. We've got to keep positive and learn. So that's why I'm here, hoping to tell you how to do things. So I would test, but I would slowly move towards Facebook forms opposed to landing pages, which is against what we've been doing for 10 years, but we are not able to track like we used to, unfortunately. And this is what I believe is the way that we can do so. So now we need to become very good at Facebook forms. And I think Facebook recognizes this. I think they recognize the problems we're having. Of course they do. And maybe they see me and thousands of other advertisers going down that same track, because we're all intelligent people, and we're going, okay, if we're not getting the data and the data is not accurate, then we need to keep it in platform. And I think all these platforms now are going to be trying to keep people in platforms. That's actually for episode 63, where I will be next week joined by James on what our predictions are for these problems and how we think the platforms will adapt to it. I hope that helps. I hope that episode helped. Remember, just try these things out and see how you go. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.